Because that's what I'll forget. I don't understand that stuff.
That's fine by me.
You have to follow us on Instagram.
Comment and tag. Comment and tag 3 friends. You just open up the conversation and I can say the details.
Well, I'll butcher it up enough to where it'll be perfect.
It will be perfect. It will be perfect. That was just a lot. That was just a lot. All right, welcome back to episode 31. As you can see, it's just 2 of us here.
It's a short table today.
Short table. Kyle's feeling a little under the weather, and I'm sure Daryl will be back with us soon. So it's just you're going to have to bear with Caleb and I for today's episode.
Bear with me.
We always do. We always do. But we got some great topics. There's a lot of movement going on in the golf world as far as golf-related news, golf tour-related news. But before we get to that, we want to talk about we've been doing a Wedge Raffle, a giveaway. We still have 2 days to enter. It's $10 a ticket. You get to win a custom set of Bettinardi wedges, full set, 52, 56, 60.
With Acura
TZ130 shafts,
BBFco ferrules,
BB&Fco, Iomic grips. The wedges are not built. So if you put in your name, you win. We're going to build them to whatever spec you want, which is on a lot of giveaways, you don't get to see that. Or a lot of raffles, you don't get to see that. Because we know not everyone out there, we talked about this, is not standard. So like I said, $10 a ticket. Buy as many tickets as you want. May the odds be in your favor. Win you a custom set of Bettinardi wedges.
And we also have 12 Days of Christmas starting soon, right?
Yep. So we're going to be doing 12 Days of Christmas giveaway starting on December 1st.
Yep.
In order to enter, we're going to be posting on our Instagram an item for each day. And to enter, you're going to have to comment and tag 3 friends. And then we're going to randomly draw at the end of each day.
Or every other day?
Every other day. Yeah, every other day.
12 different giveaways.
Yeah, make sure to be following Loggerhead Golf on Instagram, and look forward to getting that started. Friday?
Yep, yeah. Friday.
Yeah, so, and that'll kind of lead us into any more giveaways. I think that covers it all. No. Okay, perfect. All right. Awesome. So a lot of stuff going on in the golf world. I would say most notably, we didn't talk about it last week. I think the rumors kind of surfaced after.
Speculation time.
Yeah, speculation time. Jon Rahm might be going to LIV.
A lot of signs are leading that or pointing that way, right?
Yeah. I mean, everyone's throwing a number out there, and it could be hearsay. A lot of the stuff with the LIV players is hearsay, but $600 million.
I'd do it for less. But so kind of why we say it's speculation time, or like why there's signs pointing that way. He withdrew his entry from the Century Tournament Champions, right? Mm-hmm. He's withdrawn his, I guess, membership with the TGL League or whatever now, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he pulled out of TGL.
Pulled out of that. What else has he pulled out of?
I think he was on the player advisory board.
Yes, right.
Backed off.
He pulled off of that. It's like there's just all these little things that are PGA Tour heavy, right? And he's backing out of.
And this could also be, and why we're saying speculation, even though I'm a full supporter of LIV, and a lot of the players that are on it, it could just be that he pulled out of all this stuff because he has 2 young kids. I think they just had another newborn. So
I was like, there could be other reasons, right?
Yeah.
But now, I mean, what was it? Team Smashers has an announcement today?
Yeah, we just saw this morning. Team Smash, Smash GC, is going to be supposedly doing a new player announcement today. So I don't know. I feel like Jon Rahm. Do you think Jon Rahm's going to play second fiddle to Brooks Koepka?
I don't know.
I mean, that's BK's team. But that being said, supposedly the rumor is that if he gets the $600 million and he moves, he wants things to be restructured his way. He's essentially going to be the guy.
Big thing is
Phil was the guy at first to get it off the ground. Then they brought in Brooks Koepka and Bryson. They're the guys.
Yeah.
Now, when you're paying Jon Rahm that kind of money, he's the guy, so he's going to want things his certain way.
I say Rahm wants world golf ranking points.
No. We'll talk about later, but we got the pitch and putt tournament that 18 players are getting world ranking points this weekend. So I don't see why they don't already have world ranking points.
There's no reason why they shouldn't.
There's no reason why they shouldn't. But it's very interesting to see kind of with a lot of unknown. I think 2024 is the year of the unknown because supposedly the merger hasn't fully gone through. It's still up in the air. Other companies, whatever, are able to maybe buy out everything. Mm-hmm. So we don't really know what's going on. A good unknown is like, I didn't even realize that LIV players could play in DP World Tour events.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, I thought, the PGA Tour has been very adamant against the LIV.
Yeah, and the PGA Tour is now co-sanctioned with the DP World Tour.
Right, so the DP,
which is
World
the European Tour.
But at the same time, if you think about it, like the BMW Championship at Wentworth, LIV Tour players were playing in that event.
That's true.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. We're going to see a lot of shakeups. Like I think Andy Ogletree, based off of winning the Asian Tour Order of Merit, he gets full LIV status for this next year. I don't know if he's going to be on a team, but at least he has full status. We have LIV that's actually going to have a qualifying school
of some kind.
I forgot what they're calling it. Supposedly, though, for that qualifying school, if a lot of the players, if any PGA Tour players go over and try to qualify, the PGA Tour is talking about suspending them.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right.
I thought it's a free,
they ought to be. It's a free market, right? You can.
Yeah, because
are they contracted by the PGA Tour to play for the PGA Tour?
No. I mean,
so what's stopping them from going and playing somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. There's a lot of tournaments that happen on the same week on the PGA Tour and DP World Tour. And a lot of times, a lot of the players that are playing on the PGA Tour that might have home ties to the country overseas doesn't play the PGA Tour that week and goes plays the DP World Tour. Mm-hmm. How is a PGA Tour player going and qualifying for a LIV event any different?
It's not. It's not.
KJ Choi used to go play in a lot of Asian Tour events while he was a full-time PGA Tour member.
Right.
Did he have to get releases every one for that?
Maybe he did, and we just didn't know what's happening in the background.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We can be completely wrong. That's why I'm not trying to say it's definite, but you ought to think that there has to be a better way for players to essentially go play wherever they want.
I just think
if they're good enough.
I was going to say, I just think if you're one of those let's say, I don't want to say mid-tier PGA Tour player, but let's say you're like a newer tour player, right? You're getting your career started.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't you be able to explore every avenue you have available to you to get your best chance of competing in a place where you can earn a living, whether that be on the PGA Tour or the LIV Tour, right? Why can't you go to both Q schools, so to speak?
You can. There's a lot of players.
But the PGA Tour is going to
I know a lot
you.
of players. No, well,
potentially.
We're talking about LIV's Q school,
yeah.
But I know a lot of players that are doing. One just finished up European qualifying school. He got through, but he still has stage 2 this week.
Yeah.
Of PGA Tour Q school or Korn Ferry Tour Q school.
Yeah.
But and you're exactly right though. You ought to be able to go play wherever you want to play. Obviously, and the tour should structure their point system that makes the players know which tournaments they have to play. And I think that's kind of what they already do. They already do a decent job at that.
Right.
But, if this tournament is a big tournament, has a lot of points with, obviously you're going to have a tough decision if you want to go play somewhere else.
All right, well, now hear me out, because that leads into what I was going to talk about with the point system. So in my opinion, with the PGA Tour this next year, with the elevated events and the full field events and the weighted PGA or the weighted FedEx Cup point system, it's not really fair any longer. Right, because the players that are in the elevated events, they're going to have the opportunities to earn more points, and they're going to kind of stay in that top. Is it top 70?
Essentially, they're letting 70 players in the event.
Okay, so that's
it's top 60, and then they're going to have 10 exemptions into every tournament.
All right, so if you're in that top 60, you're kind of set. Okay, and then if you're in that full field category, so you're that, well, I guess 80 to 125 or 156 or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
It's going to be very
We can
tough.
say 80 to 125 because those are the guys that technically have full status.
Right. It's going to be a hard road for you to hoe your way back into the elevated events. So instead of the weighted FedEx Cup point system, I think the FedEx Cup is changed to average finish. So your average finish is what determines your ranking on the PGA Tour.
For that season.
And
essentially, you're starting the year with a blank slate.
Everyone's
equal.
Everyone's at 0. And so, and I think, and obviously I don't have all the parameters figured out. I'm just saying this is our metric now instead of a weighted point system. That's the points are determined by
which no one knows how the points are determined.
Right. We now have average finish.
Okay.
And I think throughout the year you have a couple of reset points.
Kind of how Korn Ferry does the reshuffle.
Yep, have reshuffles. It may be, say, 10 events or something. At the end of that 10 events, the top 60 in their average finish are in the elevated events, and then everyone else is in.
So you're essentially making sure that if people are getting into these elevated events and crapping the bed, they're going to
move out. They're going to move out. But they've got a way back in. All they got to do is have a couple of good weeks and they get right back in.
Yeah, and I think it'll be tough to do average score. Why don't we just do aggregate?
Aggregate score is another way. And so I thought of that, but the reason why I didn't want to do aggregate score is because since you have the elevated event and the full field event, they're going to be playing two different golf courses, maybe set up in two different fields or two different conditions. The elevated event, maybe winning score is like 12 under.
You don't have to play in the elevated event.
I know that. In the full field event, maybe the winning score is 28 under. That aggregate score is going to look a lot better. But they played a much easier golf course. That's why I think
but I think that puts a little more risk reward on it. But I can see where average score would be a little easier to compare to events.
Yeah. Or average finish.
Sorry. But that's the only thing. You finish 50th. Actually, let's just make this easy. If you finish 30th, that's dead middle of the road in an elevated event. Is that 30th the same as a 30th in a regular PGA Tour event? I'm going to say no.
It's not, but I see
because you beat 70 more players.
This is why I decided that I think average finish is a good way of using this. So the elevated event, you're theoretically playing against better golfers. So average finish, yes, you have a smaller field, so your average finish should theory be a little bit higher. So that's kind of weighting it right there. So you still have a little bit of a weighted system. But even at full field, let's say you get a win, your average finish jumps way up. You're probably into those elevated events now.
Yeah. I'm going to disagree on just because you're in the elevated event means it's a better golfers. It means that it's the golfers that the PGA Tour wanted there.
I say we're believing the product the PGA Tour is giving us.
Yeah. And I would disagree on that because I always say you take 10 really good golfers, right? You have a better chance of beating, even though they might be way better. They might be the top tier golfers.
You got a better chance of beating 10 golfers than you do 100.
Then you do 100. That's the way I look at these elevated events because you're only playing against 70 guys, which let's just use the Brooks Koepka model. Half of them already lost before they showed up because they're mentally weak.
Yeah.
I mean, you use his major kind of thinking, right? Or mentality. But then you have a regular PGA Tour event that has 156 players, 144 players. I'm always going to say that regular PGA Tour event is going to be a lot tougher to win.
All right. So, but wait, there's more because I'm not done with my point system. All right. So this average finish is only your ranking for what events you get into. Okay. So the FedEx Cup playoffs now change as well. Yeah. So with the confusing playoff structure we have where you've got the 2 weeks prior to the Tour Championship, and those 2 weeks kind of set the field, and then the top 30 in the FedEx Cup points get into the Tour Championship. And then, hell, why not? Let's just handicap that field while we're at it, is what we do currently. So the Tour Championship, you got your 30 in FedEx Cup points, and it's handicapped. So what I think happens now, Tour Championship, the first 2 weeks of the playoffs are kind of open fields. Anybody in that top 125 can play in those, get their average finish up high enough to maybe get them some status, but your only criteria for making it to Tour Championship and competing for the FedEx Cup Championship is wins. If you win any PGA Tour event through the course of the season, you're automatically guaranteed a spot in the field at the Tour Championship with a chance to win the FedEx Cup.
I love that because the people that are going to be in the top 10, they're already winning.
Right.
Already.
Yeah.
So you're essentially saying the guy that played middle of the road in all the elevated events that collects the most points because they're elevated, but didn't win crap, didn't come close to winning. You want to make sure he doesn't automatically get into the Tour Championship.
He's no longer got an easy. Now your road into how do you become a FedEx Cup champion is very clear. Your only goal is to win. Okay, and even more so with that, if you want to have a smaller field to have to beat in Tour Championship, what do you got to do? win several times, because every time you win again after you've won, you just kick somebody else out of that event.
Yeah.
You know, you've made the field smaller. So multiple winners are gonna. That's your incentive.
Oh, I mean, I didn't even think about what the playoffs are going to look like given the PGA Tour schedule this year. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling there's going to be a guy that didn't get in the elevated events, or maybe played in one or two of them based off of exemptions. That's probably going to be on, like, he probably had a great season.
You're going to end up
only
with
missed
a guy,
a few cuts, and he has no shot.
I say you're going to end up with a guy who played every elevated event, middle of the road, top 10 a few times, but never won. Make it all the way to the Tour Championship. They're probably in like the top 12.
Because the thing is, you're playing in
FedEx Cup
8, and then you're going and playing in the Travelers and that. And
then you're going to have some guy that played in the full field events, won once, maybe twice, and they've got no way to get to the Tour Championship because they weren't able to collect enough points because they weren't in the elevated events getting the extra points the elevated events get.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say it's more the guys that are finishing in the top 10 that didn't win in the non-elevated events that are going to be the
I think
looking
the
up,
way
because
it is
I think
now,
if you win, you're going to go and play in whatever elevated events coming up next.
Maybe.
We don't
if
know.
Your sponsors
Technically, no one knows.
As the way they have it structured right now, there's no guarantee.
But did you hear what the PGA Tour did there? There's going to be bathrooms for you on every single golf hole.
Good. Right. Yeah. Maybe they did that for Rahm to try to keep him.
Yeah. That's how we think that, but it's...
I don't know. It's just food for thought. I think you go to experiment with some other ways to rank your players. I do think
the playoffs are going to be something weird's going to go on. There's going to be someone that had a great year, didn't miss any cuts.
There's going to be some story.
Has a bunch of top 10s that probably doesn't get into the playoff.
Yeah, there's going to be some story out there because of they got shafted out of the elevated events.
I mean, and that's where that's where the event structure and how the point structure doesn't make sense, because we have the Hero World Challenge this week, which is invitation only.
Yeah.
Somehow, some ways, a PGA Tour sanctioned event. If you win this tournament, it counts as a win.
Yeah.
And you get world ranking points.
And how many guys are playing this one?
18.
Yeah.
Right? So everyone that was pounding their chest last year saying 54 holes and shotguns, not real golf, how is 72 holes, 18 players a real event?
Really, it's only 17 players.
And let's be real, this tournament's only been created for Tiger to come out of whatever situation that he was in physically, emotionally. I mean, perfect example, he's playing. Tiger's back.
That's why I said it's realistically only 17 players.
Yeah. I mean, Tiger's back. Tiger created a tournament for himself to practice.
Yeah.
And then have his buddies there with him.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong,
it's cool.
Tiger can do it. I've always tuned in to watch it. I think there's been a lot of great finishes coming down, but Tiger coming back this week, how much points is he going to collect?
Well, we always kind of jokingly say it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because it's Tiger.
Do you think Tiger's in all 8 elevated events?
Tiger will
Because Tiger says he's going to play in 5 or 6 events next year.
Tiger will play anything he wants to play in. Mm-hmm. He ain't got to worry about it.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you think Tiger just automatically gets into the elevated events?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Pip.
And again, I'm a Tiger fan.
The Player Impact Program is why he gets in.
I think the way Tiger plays there's just nothing like it. But if we go off of how the current system is created, we're supposed to be judging golfers based off on their current form. How is Tiger going to be eligible for the 8 elevated events?
Because of his status in the Player Impact Program.
What's his world ranking?
I don't know if he has one right now.
Yeah. I mean, everyone always has one. It's just dropped.
I say they stop keeping track of after a certain point. But no, I think he'll get in any event he will, or he wants, because of his, like I say, his Google clicks, the amount of viewership he brings to an event.
Don't come after me. Tiger is the needle.
I like we
and he
we
deserves that. He deserves that. Now that said, Tiger has essentially since 2012 has handpicked his schedule.
Yeah,
so it's almost like Tiger has his own little exemption, whatever that is. So I just think I don't think he personally can go and just play in 5 or 6 elevated events this year, because whoever's number 70 or 71
they've been fighting for that spot.
They've been fighting for that spot, and it's going to get bumped out.
Yeah. That's where I say I don't think the current system is fair to the guys on the tour.
No. Now, you brought up Player Impact Program.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you that don't know, the PGA Tour puts on a Player Impact Program, which is based off of how much attention a golfer brings to the game, a professional golfer.
How much attention a golfer brings to the PGA Tour.
Or PGA Tour, sorry, not the game.
Yeah.
And they always discreetly just put out the winners.
Yeah.
Remember last year there was a lot of scrutiny because they essentially someone pre-released who won. I think it was Phil Mickelson, right?
Might have been.
Yeah, because Phil Mickelson tweeted out like, "I won, I beat Tiger."
Yeah.
Or this had to be 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So time flies. But again, another PIP program comes through and they just randomly put out who won, and boom, Rory McIlroy won $14 million.
Yeah.
Right. Who came in second?
Tiger.
Right.
Did he play a single event last year?
He played Augusta.
Okay. Oh, he played one. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember, and then after that he had surgery.
Yeah.
And then after that, right? How many posts did Tiger put out other than people posting him at his hitting wedges with Charlie and stuff like that?
I don't know.
Right. Now and the rest of that too. So the PGA Tour has $100 million that they're passing out for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet we still have guys that are fighting for money that are currently on the PGA Tour. And then here's my gripe with it: the Korn Ferry Tour.
I was going to say, to me, the bigger question is, and obviously it's changing for next year, but currently the current system, they have $100 million and they're paying it to the top 20 players, or the top 20 in the PIP program.
They still don't know how you end up in that program. No one knows, but a select few on the PGA Tour board.
So they have a third-party agency that has metrics for determining
interactions. Like
yeah. The real question is that the best way to spend $100 million if you're the PGA Tour?
It's easy to tell someone what to do with their money. So like I kind of back off on that a little bit.
However, when we have, like I say, new, getting started pros out there that are fighting their way on tour, and it's not been that long ago where, Bryson DeChambeau even estimated that to be a first-year starter, like a first-year PGA Tour pro and play a full season, it costs you about $1 million on the PGA Tour. However, when you look at what their money earnings are for that 125 spot, they're not making $1 million.
They're barely cracking 900,000.
Yeah.
I think this year.
So this is where I think the money could be better spent for those types of guys. Give them a stipend, basically.
If you're a full status, you should get a stipend for the next year. Now, supposedly the PGA Tour gave Korn Ferry players a stipend this past year.
Yeah.
Don't know whether or not that's true.
But I think it's got to be significant enough to where, like, your travel expenses, all your entry fees maybe, are covered for the entire year.
Or just keep it simple. Provide the PGA Tour pays for player housing for the week. Right?
That would go into tournament expenses, like, travel expenses.
And you can still do a player impact program. Does it need to be, like, why isn't it just $1 million bonus? Like, just give 20 guys $1 million.
Yeah. Right?
I mean, Rory McIlroy this past year, do you think this $14 million that he just got is life-changing to him?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But 14, let's just say $1 million to the guy that finished 65th that just grinded through the winter.
Yeah.
Or the fall season.
That's enough to pay for him another season on tour.
Let's just say number 60 through 125 that just had to grind and keep their card. I mean, you had Pat Kazire after the Sea Island tournament crying because he fell out of the 125.
Right.
That guy won 3 times in 2 years, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So these guys are freaking fighting, crying.
Right.
Crying in joy for keeping it. That's where you give that $1 million bonus to.
Yeah, I agree. I think it needs to go somewhere else. I think there are plenty of other places where it can be better spent on the PGA Tour. And with that, I include Korn Ferry Tour.
This is where I would say to include Korn Ferry Tour. Why don't Q schools have purses?
I don't know.
Not everyone can play in Q school.
Yeah.
You have to pre-qualify if you don't already have some sort of status.
And the entry fee is pretty steep for Q school.
It's like $6,000.
It's expensive.
And I'm pretty sure like pre-Q school, pre-Q is like $500.
I mean, it's expensive.
Right? So imagine you just paid $6,000, $5,000, $6,000. Your sponsor paid $5,000, $6,000. Because that's what these guys have to do. They have to go and beg for money.
Right.
Right? Not every golfer is Jordan Spieth. Where he come right out, and Ludwig Aberg, where he come right out of college and walk on to the PGA Tour. But like those tournaments, for how much those players are spending to not win a thing, put a purse there.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, give them something to play for.
Give every, take that $100 million, give it to the Korn Ferry Tour guys as a travel stipend. Like every professional golfer that is a PGA Tour sanctioned tour should have a travel stipend.
I was going to say, at the very worst, just take that $100 million.
Free rental cars.
Like just take that $100 million and put it into your purses on the Korn Ferry Tour. Bump their purses up.
Yeah.
Give them chances to win more money there. So when they get to the PGA Tour, they've got a little bit. They've got a way to earn.
PGA Tour,
money,
hire us because we just figured out how to keep your players from going to LIV.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not hard,
and it's not your top 20 guys.
No, it's not your top 30.
Because ultimately, yeah, you've got your golden boys that the PGA Tour selected, but if they don't have anybody to play against,
also, this is where the Player Impact Program doesn't make any sense. And sorry for interrupting, but you're right. The top 20 guys already have the largest endorsement deals.
They've got plenty of ways to earn their money.
Yeah. And again, they deserve that.
I'm not saying they don't. They do, absolutely.
They deserve that. But you got to still make it, I don't like using the word fair, but you have to create the same opportunity for the rest of the guys on your tour.
You have to make it.
And let's just say the 125.
You got to make it.
You have full status.
Yeah. You got to make it profitable to be in.
And
this
is why I'm doing full status now, because there's 60 players on tour that aren't going to have the same opportunity as the other 60.
Yeah.
So I can't realistically call them a full status PGA Tour player.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I mean, I'm so happy the PGA Tour is bringing an event back to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
It'll be cool.
Yeah.
But then you find out it's opposite to an elevated event.
Yeah. It's like, it's not as cool.
Right? That has nothing to do on the players. It's just the PGA Tour is essentially saying
they're watering down their market.
For sure. We're creating a product for these guys to still have a place to play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're just not going to put a spotlight on you.
Yeah.
Maybe Medieval Times, throws in a sponsor. We draw some interaction in there, do some jousting in the middle.
We got 3 cameras scheduled to be at this event. Medieval Times wants to pick up a sponsorship. We'll have 4.
Yeah. And I will say this, we would be more than happy to go down there and tell the stories of the players that are going to be playing at the PGA Tour Myrtle Beach. But awesome golf course that's going to be at.
Yeah, so Dunes Club it'll be fun to see that event there.
But it's just so crazy to think about that. Who's not going to be there?
Yeah.
I'm sure when they went to the city council and
guaranteed they didn't tell them, hey, Rory's not going to be here, Tiger's not going to be here, Jordan Spieth won't be here, Justin Thomas, he won't be here,
Ludwig Aberg ain't going to be there.
He ain't going to be here. None of these guys.
Victor Hovland ain't going to be there. I mean, none of them.
Yeah.
None of them. Jon Rahm ain't going to be there because he's going to be on LIV. But I mean, and that's, I know that's a big rant, and we're trying to tell people how to spend their money. But I'll be honest, the player impact, none of those players impacted me.
No, not one bit at all. Now, I will preface this whole conversation now with next year they're changing it to, it's still $100 million for the PIP program, but only $50 million is going to the top 5. It's either top 5 or top 10 players in the PIP. And then the other $50 million is going into the Tour Championship.
Miles, scrub our entire conversation. It's fixed. Yeah. I'm kidding.
It's not. No. It's honestly, it's actually worse. Because
you're only rewarding
the top of the top now.
The FedEx Cup's supposed to reward the top. Victor Hovland just won $33
then you give him a chance to go into Tour
year.
Championship and win the other half of it. So
let the golf ball do the talking.
Yeah.
Elevate the purses. That way when you win more money. You win unheard money.
Yeah.
Trust me, I don't care that the elevated events have elevated purses. Just give everybody the opportunity to make that money. Yeah. Not just the richest guys on tour.
Yeah, everybody has to have an equal chance of getting to that spot. And that's why I say average finish is your answer.
You're just going to plug that all the time now. It's just, I mean...
Because that's your performance. Your average finish, how you finished in the events you've played, that's your performance. And that's an equal ranking against everyone on the tour.
And that's why I'm going to say a guy that finishes 10th in a regular PGA Tour event, non-elevated event, is going to hold way more value over a guy finishing 20th in an elevated event.
Yeah, but if his average finish is 12th, he's going to jump way above the guys that were finishing in the 40s in the elevated event.
And that's good. I mean, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Because you finishing 40th in a 70-player field.
He's not doing a damn thing.
No, I don't care how low you went. So you're right. I take back where I said we should do aggregate score. We're just coming full circle here.
Full circle.
It's exhausting to think about because the PGA Tour is just constantly throwing stuff out there and hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like we're even talking about right now, we really don't know what's going on. It's not like we have the answers. Yeah, it's just more of a discussion.
It's fun to talk about though.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at it for the guys like Dean Burmester, right? He just won on the DP World Tour. He's a LIV player, right? You have Cameron Smith that was pretty much in tears when he missed the cut at the Australian PGA last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's his national event too.
Yeah, they make it seem like these players only care about money. Like they care about what events they're playing in, where they're playing, things like that. But they should be rewarded based off the results. I don't think he was crying because he missed a cut for financial reasons.
No, so because it's his national tournament.
Because if Cam Smith was on the PGA Tour this past year, we're not going to say he was guaranteed to win. He would have finished in the top 20 of the Player Impact Program.
He would have made plenty of money.
Right?
Yeah.
So what do you think he would have been crying when he found out he won $5 million from the Player Impact Program?
No. He'd probably be fist pumping though. He'd be pretty excited.
I would too. I would be like,
yeah,
hell yeah, send it my way.
Sign me up.
Right? But it's not life-changing for them at all.
No. Well, let's obviously there's a lot of discussion with it. Let us know what your thoughts are about the Player Impact Program and if you feel like an average finish is a good metric for ranking PGA Tour players.
Yes. I was going to say, please comment. Let us know your thoughts. Tell us how wrong we are. We read it all. We'll listen to you. But at the end of the day, you got to look out. Reward the players playing the best golf, but leave it on the golf course.
Yeah. Let the golfing do the talking.
Yep.
All right. We're going to do some show and tell?
Let's do it.
All right. He's speechless. It's either really good or really bad.
That guy spent more money on that putter cover than the actual putter that's on
Well, let's ignore the putter because I don't think that's the point.
I have a couple pairs, right? This is becoming more and more popular thing. Like this guy's actually, he goes and buys a baby shoe, sews a sock in it to where it holds onto the putter. So I really do like the idea. I'm all for custom covers, so I'm going to say it's definitely a birdie on that end. That being said, if you have one of those on your putter, I guarantee you have 35 putts around. I'm just saying,
I'm going to call it what it is as a duff. For one, I think it looks, I'm going to stay consistent. I don't like the
you're
Jordans,
right. You do not.
So that's number one thing. Number two, when you put this putter in your golf bag, the sole of the shoes, what's going to be sticking out. Now you got this rubber sole sticking out of your golf bag. Looks stupid. So, duff.
Oh, you're so negative. So negative.
All right. Oh, no. My house.
That's a flush, man. If they made it look more like a crock, heck yeah.
So I think this is pretty innovative here because the face of
you can still use it.
You can hit the golf club.
It's a training aid
with the head cover on.
We'll bring that into the head.
See, now you don't scratch up the golf club. You hit, no more idiot marks, right? No more sky marks. So this is pretty cool.
Oh my God.
What you think?
It's definitely a birdie.
All right, I'll go with birdie.
It's definitely. I think I might have to bring that in just as a training aid. I can't, for whatever reason, my driver ain't going for that. I lost 30 yards. It's like, buddy, stay right there.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
Oh, dear God. They got a double X for big guys like me. This is called the golfer fit. You know you're a golfer if you can fit into that.
Yeah.
Caleb, I'm gonna say this is a miss.
Yeah.
Right. This is where you just tell a student to gain a little bit of weight, you can use your belly. It's the same thing.
Shank.
You got to swing around it.
Yeah.
I've seen them. I'm really not a fan of people selling Hogan's name.
No.
You see what the name is? It's Hogan Swing Shirt.
Yeah.
You know, so there is nothing in that shirt that's going to let you do anything that Hogan did. How is your elbow going to be able to move?
That's
your right
what I was
elbow.
about to say. Well,
and Hogan keeps his right elbow and is very around.
To me, I think you'd have to be careful with this because the left elbow is going to want to try to bend now with that. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
If you have this training aid, please I will do a free online lesson for you because I promise you there's nothing that shirt's going to do to help you.
All right. Duff.
I mean, even that guy, you can tell by his face.
He's like, what am I going to do with this? Oh, no.
Were you in the shop the other day?
Miles, you have been on
We're in a matrix.
Yeah.
We had a guy come in the shop the other day looking for one of these.
Yeah.
I kid you not. Guy Fury said, what up? I mean, do I have to even say it?
What?
Just say it.
What?
Oh, this is such a shame.
All right.
Like, it's just, I mean, I'm sure that guy's fun to hang around for like 30 minutes with. Once you get to hole 6 or 7, you're like, I can't do this anymore.
I might not be able to say my comment. Shank.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have one of these for the Skins game because it's going to be like 20 degrees. I might get one for next weekend.
Depends on the weather. I've never. The cart covers are more of a hassle than they're worth to me. Now, the heater in the cart is where it's at.
I have the heater.
I understand. I know that.
It might come in handy our next few weekends here.
Yeah.
No, I'm all for function.
Because what always happens when you got the cart, what always happens
this is a nice one.
The doors on the things become a pain in the ass to get in and out of. So what do? You always unzip the doors, roll them all the way up, and now you're just in an open cart anyway.
Well, I have to walk through these cameras where I might break something. But the reason why I'm saying this is a nice one is I can't stand when that front doesn't open and you can just see through the windshield. Because seeing through the
plastic,
the
you can't
plastic,
see anything.
You can't see anything.
Like looking through muddy water.
Yeah, so that looks like an expensive one. That reminds me, Miles, I need to order one. I need to order a new one. That's a flush.
Birdie.
Yeah, all day. But
if the engineers can figure out one with a better windshield you can see out of, and doors you can get in and out of, then we might move it to a flush. But right now it's
the last one. This is the last one?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll leave that in. So real quick, because we had
now, is it easier or harder to flip a cart with a cart cover on it? I feel like you could put anything on its roof.
My back would have felt a lot better. Like, I would not have as many scratches and cuts and bruises than I did. It would have kept it contained. It would have kept me. But at the same time,
your peripheral vision's a little messed up now because now you're not going to be able to see like the ground, here. So it might be easier to flip it.
I don't know. You just gave me PTSD.
I say if you're suspect with your cart dropping, maybe forego the cart cover.
But that leads us in. So we had Zach on from the After Work Golf Club. He talked about the 2-man scramble, which Caleb and I are officially signed up for. So we're going to play in the 2-man scramble. So I want to hear if you guys comment on this video. Make some guesses at what do you think for 2 scramble rounds. What's Caleb and I going to shoot? I'm not going to make any I'm not going to make any. I'm not going to set any expectations, but more than welcome to comment and think what Caleb
give us your best guess.
Best guess of what Caleb and I are going to shoot. But we go out there to win.
We'll try not to disappoint you.
But, all right. Well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, only listening to Caleb and I rant about the PGA Tour. We can do it all the day.
Just ramble on.
But if you have any suggestions or anything going forward, just please, feel free to comment. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you check out our Instagram page 12 Days of Christmas. And then again, call the shop, comment, reach out to us the next 2 days to get in that raffle. $10, you can win your set $1,000 set of wedges. So, but we appreciate you guys and look forward to tuning in to next week.